And good morning, Newton Falls. Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Lynch. I'm the city manager here in Newton Falls, Ohio, and this is our morning update, our regular update we do regarding our community every Tuesday morning and Friday morning at approximately 7:30 in the morning. And of course, you can see us on our Facebook page, our YouTube page, and in addition to that, cable channel 1023 by virtue of Spectrum. And of course, thank you so much, those folks over at Thomas Gregory Films who produced this program at zero cost to the taxpayers of Newton Falls. Zero cost to the taxpayers. And we love bringing the program to you just as a way of giving you information about what's going on in Newton Falls generally, although we started to talk about the COVID situation, and that's always a constant topic. Well, we're really happy this morning to have somebody special with us because a few weeks ago we interviewed the coach of the football team of Newton Falls, and I received a few phone calls saying, well, wait a minute, the volleyball season is coming up. And of course, not just a regular volleyball season, a volleyball season following a championship season that they had last year. It was of tremendous excitement. That's why we're pleased to have on the live line the coach of the Newton Falls varsity girls volleyball team, Christina Baker. Good morning, Coach. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Great, great. It's great to have you on the line. I understand you're actually traveling with the team. What's going on in that regard right now?
We just we had our first scrimmage yesterday up at Grand Valley, so we played a couple teams up there. We have scrimmages planned this week also, so we're getting right into the heart of the season, getting ready for our first game.
Yeah.
We have a couple weeks, so.
Yeah. By the way, you mentioned scrimmaging, and I'm glad to hear you're doing that. Obviously, the team has to be ready, but the rules under this no COVID-19 thing, what's being done differently that you guys have to watch out for?
Well, upon arrival to the school, the girls were taking temperatures. We have a list of questions we have to ask. We keep all of that documented. When they show up, they all have to be wearing face masks. The coaches are wearing face masks the whole time. Yesterday, before we got on the bus, we took temperatures when they got there. Everybody seated separately. We had to get on, like where you sat on the way there, you had to sit on the way back. Wearing face masks the whole time on the bus, and when we walked into the other school, we had to take temperatures and using a lot of hand sanitizer and hand soap.
Yeah.
Trying to keep everybody separated as much as possible.
Sure. Now, the games themselves, I presume, in order for respiration, which is very intense during an athletic event, masks do not have to be worn during the games themselves. Is that right?
No, they're not wearing them during the games, but people that are like sitting on the bench, if you're not in playing, they are recommending that people that are sitting there not going in that match wear a mask. So,
and how are you handling social distancing? Are the benches spread out more, or what's going on in that regard?
yes, we're trying to keep people seated separately from each other. And I know when the season starts, they've changed some of the game rules. We're actually not going to be doing a coin toss at the beginning of games. Captain's meetings, I'm only allowed to take one person if I choose to. And let's see, we're not switching sides anymore during the game in between sets.
Right.
So.
Well, that kind of makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Coach, there was some news out of Pennsylvania, either yesterday or the day before, about the fact that the governor seemed to be putting an end to fall sports altogether. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I've been paying attention to the news because, I know what goes on around our area and stuff could eventually affect us. So I've heard some cancellations of fall sports altogether. What's going on in the NCAA, too, I know could trickle down to us. So I've been paying attention to what's going on.
All right, Coach, far as I know, right now, the way things stand, the intention of the state of Ohio and the OHSAA is that you will be playing volleyball this season, right?
I hope so far.
Okay.
I mean, we live day to day.
Yeah.
And I know the girls are excited to be back in the gym, and we're excited to be back in the gym, but we also know what's going on around us, and everything could eventually affect us.
Yeah, I have to imagine that for some of these girls that are about to play their senior year, there's a little sense of trepidation, or I mean, they're so excited about their senior year. I would think that there's maybe a little feeling of dread that they have, that maybe that season might be taken away. Have you had a way to help these girls cope with that possibility?
I try not to bring it up, and I just want them to have fun. I mean, I want us to have fun together now and enjoy the time that we have together and make the most of it. I mean, I know that's probably in the back of their minds. I know it's in the back of my mind too, and I want those girls to have their senior season. But I mean, I can only control what we can control, and if we're in the gym today, that's great, and make the most of it and enjoy the time we have together.
Oh, that's great, Coach. All right, well, let's get to the real joy of volleyball. You had an unbelievable season last year, and now this next season has a potential to be even as exciting. Tell us about the team.
Well, I got 5 of the girls from last year's team that were in that starting rotation coming back. I mean, we have 3 seniors that have a lot of varsity experience, and of course the experience that those senior and junior players had last year, and having that tournament experience and what it was like, I think is going to make them hungry for this year. We have a couple of younger girls coming up that are going to be filling in some spots for us that I think, they were excited to get back into the gym over the summer and to start practice. And I know they have a goal already this year, and so do I. And I think every day they're coming in and working towards that, and they're excited to be there.
Coach, name some names. Tell me, who are the horses you're hoping to ride across the finish line into another championship?
Well, I got my 3 seniors. We have our middle hitter coming back, Courtney Hankins, and my outside hitter, Brianna Hudson, and my libero, of course, coming back, Atlanta Spollinger. 2 of those girls have been playing varsity for 4 years, and one's been playing 3 years, so like I said, they have a lot of experience. I have my juniors coming back, and Lexi Drake and Emily Knight, and we also have some younger players coming in helping us out, and that's going to be, I have a junior, Olivia Vlot, who's setting for us, and Natalie Albert is one of our sophomores coming up, and Shelby Fowler, of course, and I have 2 other outside hitters, 2 juniors, and Sage Elliott and Cadence Stewart. So
that's a great crew. Coach, last year, the excitement is still sort of ringing through the community. What's it feel like to go into a new season when you've got that achievement? Is there a little bit more swagger in your walk?
I mean, this year's a new season, and I just hope they feed off of what happened last year. And I know they did get a lot from the community, a lot of support from the community, and afterwards, a lot of people were excited in the community for them. So I think that is kind of fueling their fire going into this season. And I don't want them to come out too confident, and we just have to play one game at a time, and we got to work now and trust the process to get where we want to be at the end of the season.
Yeah. We followed that team very closely last year, and one thing I noticed was that frequently you'd be up against a team that had some big hitters, sometimes with a little bit more firepower than you had, but your defense really seemed to rise to the occasion. How do you get girls to do that?
Defense is all about, heart and getting after it, and I tell them you have to be relentless on defense. When we do defensive drills in practice, it's all about we're not letting the ball hit the floor, we're going after everything, and we don't want to give up. I mean, our offense starts with our defense. We don't have defense, we don't have an offense. So I think they take a little bit of pride in their defense and making those plays. And even though you get some of those little crazy plays where the ball's all over the place or whatever, I think we try to make the most of what we can do and get to everything that we can.
Sure. Well, one thing I noticed about your defense is that they seem to have a never give up, never give in attitude. And, it's just like a defensive line on a football team. If people are determined not to give in, it makes a difference, doesn't it, Coach?
Yes, it does. I mean, you gotta get on the floor and get some floor burn and some bruises. I feel like my girls aren't afraid to do that, and they're willing to give up a little bit of skin to do that too. And do what they need to do.
Oh, that is outstanding. Coach, well, we want to say thank you for the thrills you gave us last year, the thrills you're about to give us. And, Coach, one way or another, we're going to figure out to get a TV crew to see a few of those games this year, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All
We're
right, that's
excited.
great. All right, thanks again, Coach. Good luck this year.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. That's Christina Baker, the coach of the Newton Falls girls volleyball team, and 5 of the starting rotation returning this year. That's a pretty potent way of going into the season. Now, let's hope we have a season. Things across the state are sometimes better some days, sometimes worse other days, but it sounds like the coach and the OHSAA have a handle on how to keep things under control in terms of the virus, and we are here hoping that the season proceeds. Well, you in Newton Falls asked, could we deliver an interview about volleyball? We delivered. Thanks, everybody, and that wraps up another edition of the Newton Falls Update. Thank you so much, everybody. Keep turning to our Heavenly Father for encouragement during these tough times. And as I say at the end of each one of these broadcasts, God bless America and God bless the city of Newton Falls.